Audio Jungle.
Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. How are you? I hope all you are well by the grace of Almighty Allah. I am really missing you and our lovely school campus, Milestone School and College, very much. Let us pray together to get back our campus. I hope you will understand the lesson of this class and your good comments on the video gives us the inspiration, my dear. My dear students of class 7, today our chapter number 11, information and data, and I am going to solve extra creative question, my dear, for your upcoming examination. At first I will discuss some basic things related to that creative question, then I will solve on extra creative question and I will give you on extra creative question as a SW for your betterment. Let us see. Review of previous lesson. My dear students, in the last class you have done some problems from chapter 6. Now I am going to give you 2 minutes to solve on problem from chapter 6. What is the solution of x by 2 plus 1 equals to 3? So my dear students, your time starts now and you have to find out the solution. That means find out the value of x. Okay, let us see the solution. X by 2 equals to, as you can see my dear, 1 is plus in the left side, and when we will transpose 1 in the other side it will be negative. That's why 3 minus 1 or x divided by 2 equals to 2. After that, by the cross multiplication, my dear, we can do x equals to 2 multiplied by 2, that would be 4. So therefore the solution of x equals to 4, and that is the desired answer, my dear. So my dear students, this is the feedback from the previous lesson, and the solution of x equals to 4. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to explain types of statistical data, explain range and number of classes of the data, explain organized and unorganized data, explain classification, median and mode, explain histogram and steps are to be followed for drawing histogram, solve on extra creative question from chapter 11. So this is the things, my dear students, you will be able to after the end of this lesson, and this extra creative question is very important for your exam, my dear. So my dear students, at first, types of statistical data. Number 1, primary data. Number 2, secondary data. So this is the primary data, my dear. The data collected directly from the source is called primary data. The researcher can collect data directly as per his need. The primary data are more reliable. That is the important thing, my dear. So let us see an example. Primary data sources include surveys, observations, experiments, questionnaires, focus groups, interviews, etc. So my dear students, by this process or by this way, if we can collect the data, and that data is very much reliable, and for researcher, as per his need, he can collect the data. So this is the thing of primary data. Let us see secondary data. The data collected from the indirect source is called secondary data. So the researcher cannot collect data directly as per his need. Therefore, the secondary data are less reliable, my dear. That is the thing of secondary data. Let us see an example. Secondary data sources include books, journals, articles, web pages, blogs, etc. my dear. So if we can collect the data from books, journals, articles, web pages, blogs, that data is the secondary data and they are less reliable. So this is the thing, my dear. Primary data, and the example, primary data is more reliable and the secondary data is less reliable. After that, range and number of class. What is range? Let us see. That is range, the formula is highest number minus lowest number plus 1. Suppose if we have some data and we have to find out the highest number and the lowest number, and we have to make the difference, and if we add plus 1, then we can get the range. After that, number of classes of the data. The range divided by class interval is the number of classes. Therefore, number of class equals to range divided by class interval, my dear. This is the formula how to find out the number of class. So this is the range, highest number minus lowest number plus 1, and number of classes of the data. The formula is range divided by class interval. Organized and unorganized data. Organized data. If the data are arranged in any order, ascending or descending, is called organized data. The example is the marks obtained by 5 students in an examination in class 7 of a school as follows: 65, 75, 78, 82, 85. They are in ascending order, my dear. So these are the organized data. Let us say unorganized data. If the data are not arranged in any order, ascending or descending, is called unorganized data. Let us see an example. The marks obtained by 5 students in an examination in class 7 of a school as follows: 85, 75, 68, 92, 85. That means they are not in ascending or descending order. So these are the data for unorganized data. So my dear students, this is organized data, and this can be done by ascending or descending order. Unorganized data, there is no ascending or descending order. Classification, median and mode. Let us see classification. The process of dividing data into different classes at convenient intervals based on the number of data is determined as classification, my dear. That means there are different at convenient intervals based on the number of data. That is the classification. After that, median. If the data are arranged in ascending or descending order, mid value of the number are called median. That means in order to find out median, you have to first make the data ascending or descending, then you can find the median. Let us see an example. The marks obtained by 5 students in an examination in class 7 of a school as follows: 65, 75, 78, 82, 85. So they are in the ascending order, my dear. So you can easily find out the median. Here 78 is the median. Similarly, if we can do the descending order of this data, we will get 78 is the median. So this is the mode. The data which are repeated the maximum number of times is called mode. The marks obtained by 5 students in an examination in class 7 of a school as follows: 65, 75, 82, 82, 85. They are in the ascending order, my dear. So the mode is in here 82 because 82 repeated maximum number of times. So my dear students, this is the classification, and after that the median, you have to do ascending or descending order to find out the median, and the mode you have to see maximum number of times, repeated maximum number of times. So 82 is the mode. After that, histogram. The histogram is the diagram of frequency distribution table. Following steps are to be followed for drawing histogram. Number 1, the class interval of frequency table is taken along x-axis and frequency is taken along y-axis. We will do it practically, my dear students, in a graph paper. After that, the next step, the frequency at convenient scale is considered along y-axis. That means along y-axis we will take frequency, and for both axes of the histogram the same of the different convenient scale can be taken. That means in the both x-axis and y-axis we can take the same different convenient scale. The next step, histogram is drawn considering class interval as base and frequency as height of rectangle. So my dear students, class interval as base, that means in x-axis, and frequency as height, that means in y-axis. So this is the histogram, my dear. Histogram is the diagram of frequency distribution table, and following steps we can follow for drawing histogram. So these are the steps, and last step is x-axis, that is class interval, and in y-axis, that is frequency we can take. So my dear students, chapter 11 we will do extra creative question number 9. Let us see the question. Following are the marks obtained in mathematics by 25 students of class 7. As you can see the data in here, and we have to count how many data in here. In here it is written 25 students. After that we will count again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 data in here. You have to check it. That is good for your math. And you can see these data are not in ascending or descending order. Let us see the question, and after the base of question we will see we have to do ascending or descending order or not. Okay, so let us see the question. This is number A, what is information and data. Number B, make a frequency distribution table taking 5 as class interval. Draw a histogram of the data from the obtained frequency distribution table with description. So my dear students, there is no need to do ascending or descending order based on this question. Let us see the solution, my dear. Solution number A, data. Any information or based on numbers even is a statistic, and the numbers used for information or event are the data of statistics, my dear. Let us see the example. The marks obtained by 5 students in an examination in class 7 of a school as follows: 85, 75, 68, 92, 85. So these are the data of statistics. Let us see the information. The meaningful result obtained from processing the data is called information. That means this data we will make process now. this data we will make process. How? Let us see an example. That marks obtained by 5 students in an examination in class 7 of a school as follows: 85, 75, 68, 92, 85. And if we make them total, that would be 405. So this is the information, my dear, by using this data. So this is the question, my dear students, we have to solve. The first question is what is information and data. After that, in question number B, we have to make a frequency distribution table taking 5 as a class interval. That means class interval in here is fixed. After that, draw a histogram using the frequency distribution table. So this is the data. What is data? An example, my dear students, as you can see, and by using this data we can find out the information, that is meaningful result. So my dear students, now we will solve question number B. Let us see the question again. These are the 25 students number in mathematics. And that's well, B number question is make a frequency distribution table taking 5 as a class interval. So 5 is fixed for class interval. And for this is the solution of B. We know range equals to highest number minus lowest number plus 1. That means in order to make frequency distribution table, you have to know the range and the number of class of the data. So here lowest mark equals to 40, as you can check from this data, my dear. In here lowest mark is 40 and highest marks equals to 56. You have to check, my dear, very much carefully that 56 is the highest mark from this data. So the range of the data equals to 56 minus 40 plus 1, 16 plus 1, because the difference of 56 and 40, it will be 16. And 17 is the range of the data. After that, given class interval equals to 5 and the formula of number of class equals to range divided by class interval, my dear. And if we put down the value, range equals to 17 and class interval is 5, and after that the value is 3.4. that means 3 decimal 4. We cannot take the value 3 decimal 4. We have to take integer value, and that will be proportional to 4. That means 3.3 decimal 4, we can make it proportional to 4, and this is the proportional sign, my dear. Now the frequency distribution table for the data is, and this is the data, my dear students, as a 40 is the lowest number. So we will take the class interval, the difference of 5. So we can count 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, that is 5. So 40 to 44, after that 45 to 49, 50 to 54 and 55 to 59. Because of number of class is 4, so we will take 1, 2, 3, 4. And after that we will find out the range. 40 to 44, how many numbers in here? That means the frequency. So in here we get 5, 5, 2. That means 12 is the frequency. 45 to 49 we get from the data 5, 1. That means 6. 50 to 54 from the data we get 5. 55 to 59 we get from the data it is 2. That means total is 25, my dear. So this is the frequency distribution table you can find out from the given data. So my dear students, this is the solution of number B. Make a frequency distribution table taking 5 as a class interval. At first we have to find out the range, and the range is, my dear students, 17, as you can see, and given class interval is 5. So with the help of this range we can easily find out the formula of number of class. Range divided by class interval, it is very important because you have to know how many class interval you have to take. That's why. So this is the frequency distribution table, and total frequency is 25. So my dear students, Now this is the question, and we will solve question number C, and these are the data, and the C number question is draw a histogram of the data from the obtained frequency distribution table with description. So solution number C, the given frequency table is made continuous. At first we have to make the continuous given frequency table, and these are the continuous class interval, as you can see, my dear. So class interval 44 to 40 to 44, and if you want to make continuous class interval, then you have to make less from 40.5, and you have to make add with 44.5. That's why in order to make less from 40.5, that would be 39.5, and in order to make add 0.5 with 44, that would be 44.5. And the next one is the same thing, my dear. From 45 you have to make 0.5 less, so 44.5, and 0.5 more, so 49.5. After that you have to make less 5.5 from 50, that would be 49.5, and after the adding of 0.5 with 54, that would be 54.5. Similarly 54.5 to 59.5, and the frequency is same, my dear. So the total frequency is 25. Now we will see how to draw a histogram practically. So my dear students, this is the histogram, as you can see, and these are the description. The frequency histogram has been drawn taking continuous class interval along x-axis. As you can see, my dear, along x-axis we take continuous class interval, and frequency along y-axis, as you can see, frequency along y-axis. Each side of the smallest square of graph paper along x-axis is 1 unit of class interval, and each side of the square along y-axis is 1 unit of frequency. As you can see, my dear, in here it is written in x-axis 1 small square, that is 1 unit. In y-axis 1 small square, that is 1 unit. Since the class interval along x-axis has started from 39.5, and the broken segments, that is the broken segments, my dear, represents the previous units up to 39.5. So these are the things, my dear students. Solution number C, and we have to draw a histogram, and as you can see, for drawing histogram you have to make the given frequency table as continuous. So these are the continuous frequency table, and this is the histogram, my dear, and this is the description of this frequency distribution table. Now, my dear students, summary of today's lesson. The data collected from directly from the source is called primary data. The data collected from the indirect source is called secondary data. The data which are represented the maximum number of times, which are repeated the maximum number of times, is called mode. The histogram is the diagram of frequency distribution table. And we have solved one extra creative question that is very important for examination, my dear. So these are the summary of today's lesson, and that is very important extra creative question. You have learned that histogram is very important, so learn it very well. So OSW number 106, extra creative question number 10, my dear. This is the question, as you can see, and you have to solve it according to merit. Marks obtained in mathematics by 20 students of class 7. As you can see the marks, and you have to solve A, B and C.